Hey guys, Smooth here, and this is part 3 of my completionist series. Now in this episode I didn't gain as many levels as I did in the last one, which would be almost impossible because I did gain 41 levels, but that was kind of due to the fact that it was double experience weekend and it was two weeks or so between my last episode. But in this one I still did get a lot of progress done. Now you can see in the background over here I'm doing the Big Chinchompa minigame, and I've been trying to get those daily activities out of the way. So I've been doing stuff like this and fish flingers twice a day to kind of get into the routine of doing it all. And it's actually been pretty good. Like some of the experience gains have been they've been really solid. Now I was actually really skeptical of this game at first because the experience gains seemed to be pretty bad. But the reason for that being that it was so crowded at first that it kind of didn't make it worth it, because if it gets too crowded, the game actually will end a little bit early. But now that a lot less people play it, in 20 minutes I normally will get around 70,000 or so hunter experience, which is not bad at all. So yeah, it's actually comparable to Jadinkos in a sense, but this is actually a lot more enjoyable to me, and I just really can't stand doing Jadinkos or the basic way of training hunter. Is just so click intensive. Besides the daily minigames and whatnot, I've also been doing a lot of the daily tasks from the Quartermaster in Birthorpe. Now, some of these aren't that great, but some of them are pretty phenomenal as far as the experience that you gain from it. And regardless of it, you do get free squeal spins at the end of them, which kind of makes them all worth it no matter what. For the prayer one, I ended up getting 9,500 experience. The farm one gave around 3,900. Now, the farm I wasn't expecting to get a lot because the task was really easy. It only wanted me to plant one Lantodime. But the dungeoneering ones were pretty awesome. Now, if you remember in my other video, I said I did want to get some 99s to cancel out other tasks, so that I could get basically knock some of the tasks out of the way, so that way dunge would be a little bit easier for me to get. Now I was assuming that you would get about 120,000 for doing a dunge task, which is just completing one floor, and it's actually a lot more than that. I actually got 164k, and I did it twice. So basically, I got a free 328,000 experience in dungeoneering. And that literally took me around 20 minutes to do. Woodcutting wasn't too bad. I had to do 55 U's, and I got 25k for that. And for crafting, I had to make some decorated fishing urns, which came out to 47,000 experience. So all in all, it's pretty good stuff over here. On top of it, all this really makes it worth it because of the squeal spins. You can see over here that I did gain a prayer lamp for around 5,000, and I did gain a Slayer one, which got me a little over 11,000, I believe. So all in all, I mean, this is something you probably want to do because, as you know, Jagex does want to make money, and they do make squeal spins worth it. So they're kind of dangling it in your face and showing you how good they really are. And yeah, I'm not a convinced buyer, but it's definitely showing you that this is something that's gonna help you out. So daily tasks are definitely a go. Besides doing the daily activities, I did get a lot of questing done since the last episode. Over here you can see that I'm doing the What's Mine Is Yours quest. Now this is actually a remake of the really old quest, Doric's quest, which is one of the oldest quests in the game. I actually did like this quest a lot. I mean, none of the rewards are really worthwhile, especially at my level. But it's definitely going to be one of those things that attracts a lot of new players to the game. It's very noob friendly, it's very story intensive, even though the quest isn't too long. But yeah, it was actually a pretty enjoyable quest. Like, I did like the cutscenes and whatnot. It did add a little flavor to the game. So this was definitely a plus, and it was just another quest to get out of the way for me. The next quest I did was the Chosen Commander quest. Now this was actually a pretty nice quest. I did like the storyline behind it a lot. The rewards weren't anything too crazy. I did get a Xanax crossbow, and it did give 20,000 experience in agility, strength, and thieving. Now I already have 99 agility and strength, so it wasn't anything special for me to get those, but the thieving did help a little bit. The actual storyline was pretty interesting. I did like this quest because it was actually, it did get you into it, and some of the cutscenes were pretty awesome. What did kind of bring up a question to me, for those of you that do follow like RuneScape lore and storylines and whatnot, is that Bandos was influencing the land of Gielinor, which is against the Edicts of Guthix, so I'm kind of confused how he was able to do that and what the consequences of that are. So for those of you that follow the storyline, could maybe leave a comment below and tell me kind of how that was able to happen and what the consequences of that are. But yeah, all in all, not a bad quest at all. I did enjoy this one. The next quest I did was Some Like It Cold, which is a continuation of the Penguin series. Now this is supposed to be like RuneScape kind of being cute and doing like a softer side, but I really think that this is kind of out of place, having like military penguins and polar bears in a game like RuneScape, where it's supposed to be kind of like badass swords and killing and beasts and fighting other people and whatnot. So I feel like this is really out of place. The quest is alright in itself, but I'm not a big fan of it being in RuneScape in general. But Jagex. The next quest I did was called Avoid Dance. Now this quest was added a little bit of a while ago to kind of give Pest Control a bit of a backstory. Now a little information about the way my character used to be. Before my character became a main, it was actually a pure at first, and I was at Pest Control almost non-stop for most of my training. I got to about 95 strength and 1 defense strictly by doing Pest Control, so I was what they would call a PC prod at the time. But I would actually kick a lot of ass in the wilderness, so it was actually pretty cool. So when this series came out, the quest series, I was actually really excited to try it out, but I never got to it, so it was actually really satisfying to finally get this out of the way. After finishing Avoid Dance, I wanted to do the next quest in the series, which is Avoid Stairs Back. Before starting this quest, you had to finish the Conquest minigame, which, as you can tell by the way it's structured, it's pretty much by the exact same makers as the Mobilizing Armies minigame. So you could already tell that it was going to be horrible, so I quickly got that out of the way and then I went straight into the quest. After finishing Conquest, I looked in my quest tab and saw that it was a Grandmaster quest. Now, I haven't done a Grandmaster quest since I believe Ritual of the Majorat, so I was actually looking forward to it because I think Jagex actually does a really good job with their Grandmaster quests. Like, most of them are pretty entertaining and have a really good storyline. And I think what most of them, if not all of them, have in common is that there's a big boss fight at the end, which was the case with this as well. And I always look forward to a boss fight at the end of a quest. Like, it's always nice to have that big build up and then to have to beat something at the end. So this was something I was definitely looking forward to. When it came to the actual boss fight and me fighting the Pest Queen, I definitely came unprepared. I was basically just using an inventory full of Rocktails and a yak full of Rocktails as well. Now, I did see in guys that it said that it was very important to bring recover specials, but I kind of just said I could, and I figured I was max, I could do it pretty easily without that. But as you can see over here, it came right down to the wire, and me and the Pest Queen were both red barred, and I was completely out of food, so I was basically just going for it, and I had my mouse right over the Falador teletab to get out of there any second. So I kill the Pest Queen, and the Pest Queen kills me literally in the next game tick with some sort of delayed attack at the exact same time that I press the Fally tab, and I get killed. So when I do head back to see if I did get the kill and if I could complete the quest, it turned out that I wasn't able to, and I had to completely redo the fight all over again. I did redo the fight, I did bring recover specials, and the fight ended up actually being pretty easy after that. So after all that questing, I wanted to do something new to switch things up a little bit, and I did have about 8,000 bones banked that I didn't use from last episode. And I decided to train prayer again, so I did get a couple levels here. I believe I went from 86 to 89. So I did gain a decent amount. I didn't use all my bones because I didn't manage to get the time to, but I think I have enough for 92 or so, which should get me to Soul Split. Now the final level I gained was in woodcutting, and I brought it up to 94. I've been making a habit out of keeping a dragon hatchet with me so that way I can quickly teleport to Ardoon and just chop the ivies back here. Now this is some amazing AFK experience. I think you get around 70 to 75k per hour or so, and you can AFK these things for so long that you actually might get hit by the logout timer because you'll be hitting the same ivy for about 5 minutes straight. So this is actually a pretty good way to get some AFK woodcutting experience. So a quick little recap on what I have to do. I'm in the completionist cape area, and it still has all these requirements over here. They're all pretty much the same as last episode, and that's because none of the quests that I completed have anything to do with any of the stuff over here. But I'm probably going to start getting some of these out of the way really soon. As far as levels, you can see I did go up a few more. I'm at 2376 now, so not too far away. Now let me quickly show you my quest tab to show you what I have left to do. And I have 10 out of 185 left, so almost there, almost done with all my quests. I have 322 out of 338 quest points, so only 16 quest points to go. So it looks like I'll be knocking these out of the way. I think I'm going to be, in the next episode, probably going to be doing mostly quests because I want to get Dominion Tower out of the way before the beta goes live. So yeah, pretty much all combat stuff besides Slayer I want to pretty much finish up. So yeah, not too far away. Definitely going to have some more leveling up soon, but for now I just really want to get those quests out of the way. And here's a quick word from Alkan.
If this video gets 500 likes, Alkan will show his dick.